Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make applesauce bread. This quick bread has a moist texture and a really nice apple cinnamon flavor. So to begin, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius, and then you will need a loaf pan, and you can either butter the inside or just use one of those non-stick vegetable sprays to spray the inside. And then this bread is really easy to make. You don't need to pull out your electric mixer for this. Just 2 bowls, one for your dry ingredients, one for your wet, and then we'll mix them together and we're done. So we'll start with the dry ingredients. In a large bowl, I have placed 1½ cups, that's 195 grams of all-purpose flour. You may know that as plain flour. And to that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup, 65 grams of whole wheat flour. And the whole wheat flour will add a little flavor as well as texture to this bread. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you didn't have whole wheat flour, then just use all 2 cups, 260 grams of all-purpose white flour. Or conversely, if you want to use like half all-purpose flour, half whole wheat, you could do that. So you can kind of mix it if you want. And to that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I like to use the kosher salt, and then 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And the ground cinnamon, besides obviously adding flavor, will color our bread a really nice honey brown color. And then just whisk that together. I'm just using a wire whisk. Make sure, you really want to make sure that baking powder and baking soda gets all mixed into the flour. And then, to add a little flavor and interest to this bread, I'm going to add 1/2 cup, 75 grams of currants. You could also use either dark or golden raisins for this. You could even use an equal amount of chopped nuts, or even other dried fruit, cranberries, something like that, whatever you like. Or you could just even leave the nuts or the currants out totally. So that's it for our dry ingredients. Now for our wet, another large bowl, I have 1 large egg in here, and I'm just going to whisk that, lightly beat it. And then we have lots of good stuff here. We're going to add, obviously, applesauce. And I'm going to add 1 1/4 cups, which is 295 grams of applesauce. Now, you could use either an unsweetened applesauce or a lightly sweetened. You can use store-bought or homemade. And there is a recipe along with the video on the site if you want to make your own applesauce. And you may think, well, 1 1/4 cups is quite a bit of applesauce. But not only does the applesauce add flavor and moist texture, but what it does is it allows us to use less fat in this bread. Because I'm only going to add 1/4 cup, 60 milliliters of a flavorless oil. And you could use either canola, corn, safflower, or vegetable, or you could use a light olive oil as well. Or if you want, you could just use an equal amount of melted butter if you would prefer that to add a little more flavor. And then I'm going to add 1/2 cup, which is 120 grams of either a plain yogurt or a sour cream, whichever one you want to use. And you could use a full fat, or if you want to keep the fat down in this bread, just use one of those reduced fats types. And then I'm going to add, need a little sweetness, 1/2 cup, 105 grams of lightly packed brown sugar. And I hardened a little, just there we go. And a little bit of vanilla flavor, 1/2 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. If you didn't want the vanilla flavor, you could just leave that out. And then I'm just going to whisk all that together. A lot of nice flavors and textures with this. Okay. So that was simple enough. So now we're just going to add all the wet into the dry, and then I'll just use my spatula to mix it all together. Now you just want to mix everything till it's all moistened and mixed together. You don't want to mix too much, because the more you mix, the tougher a quick bread will get if you overmix. So just until everything's all mixed together. Make sure you scrape down to the bottom of the bowl. Mix all that flour in. Okay, that looks good. And we have a pan all ready. Don't worry if there's a few flecks of flour in there. Okay. Then back of a spoon, or I'm just using an offset spatula here. Just kind of nice and even. And then if you want that, to decorate the top of your bread, I'm going to just put some rolled oats. You could use some chopped nuts. Kind of finishes it off nice. Okay, so now into our oven for, I would say 45 to 55 minutes, just till it's nice and golden brown, and a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Okay, our applesauce bread is now done. As you can see, a beautiful golden brown color, and if you put either a toothpick, or I like these short little wooden skewers, put it into the center, it will come out clean. So now what we're going to do is let it cool in the pan on a wire rack for about 10 minutes, and then I'll show you how to take it out of the pan. So now it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to take it out of the pan. So just take either a knife or a flat edge spatula and just run it on the inside, just in case it's sticking to the sides of the pan. You want to release it, and then it's still quite hot, so flip it out, and then I'll just flip it right side up again. So now I'm going to let this cool another maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll cut a slice. Okay, so now we'll cut a slice. You can just use a sharp knife, and then so. Then, as you can see here, it is a beautiful honey brown color, and that's from the cinnamon and the whole wheat flour. And you see all the currants and then the oats. It's so wonderfully moist. That's really nice, nice and moist. Apple cinnamon flavor with a little bit of the currants. Really nice. It's very nice. I'm just eating it plain. You could put butter, a little butter and marmalade's very nice. Have it as a snack or for breakfast. Or I even like to serve this bread for lunch, along with like maybe a salad or a bowl of soup. So you can cover and store this bread once it's cooled off, either at room temperature or in the fridge for quite a few days, or you can even freeze it. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.